First off, I have to say that I am so blessed to be here today because I got to celebrate one more year on this earth. It's not given to anybody, and I'm grateful to all of that is power and that is in control of giving me life. I say thank you. So, yeah. Now I'm feeling good and I want to do a video here. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Chilanda and this is Library Without Borders. Y'all remember when dashikis were in, Yeah, I know they're not all that popular anymore, but I feel like wearing a dashiki. Gotta represent the motherland. Plus, I mean, even if dashikis were in back then, they're not in today. What do we do with the clothes? Do we not wear them? Of course I'm gonna wear them. Especially that I'm doing these videos. You always have to have something different, a different look. I'm gonna bring back all my past looks, whether they're in season or not. Best believe it. Alright guys, so today's video I will be talking about my high expectation TBR for the month of September. Now if I show you the pile of books that I'm planning to read for the month of September, I know you're probably gonna laugh because it is obviously a tall order, no pun intended, but it's gonna be there and it's gonna motivate me. So whenever I'm reading that one first book, I know I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm eyeing that story. I want to get to that story, so I'm gonna go through them, hopefully. So let me show you the books I want to read. So here, I don't want them to tumble down, but these are the books I want to read for the month of September. Now, today, as I'm filming this, it is September 5th. Ask me if I even started reading one out of this pile. No, but you know what? We're gonna do this. We are gonna do this. So first, let me just put this down so I can properly talk about these books. So, first off, I have this book. It is Yasuke, The True Story of the Legendary African Samurai. Now, we all know that whenever we think about samurai, we think about Tom Cruise, right? The Last Samurai. Like, y'all watch that movie? I mean, no, that's not what y'all think about? Okay. Guess you can think about Japanese because okay. But anyways, so I found that very intriguing simply because of my perception of what a samurai is or should look like. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, you best believe I'm gonna grab it. So it says here, the man who came to be known as Yasuke arrived in Japan in the 16th century. Oh, so long ago. And then indentured mercenary arriving upon one of the Portuguese ships carrying a new language, a new religion, and an introduction to the slave trade. Curiously tall, bald, massively built, and black-skinned, he was known as a steadfast bodyguard of immense strength. Ooh! And stature, and swiftly captured the interest and thence the trust of the most powerful family in all of Japan. 2 years later, he vanished. Yasuke is the story of a legend that still captures the imagination of people across the world. It brings to life a little-known side of Japan, a gripping narrative about an extraordinary figure in a fascinating time and place. Y'all know I am here for it. I'm gonna eat this story up and I'm gonna spit it out to you guys. That does not make sense. But we have that. I know for the month of September, a lot of people are doing these fall themed books. I think I have like maybe 2-3 that are fall themed, but other than that, I told myself, like I said, I'm a mood reader and I was going through the books, especially that I had a huge book haul. I was devouring those books with my eyes and I just wanted to like not be limited by the season. So whatever my heart was asking me to pick, that's what I did. So second on my list is New York Times bestseller Nicholas Sparks. Now, I have never read a book by him, but it's titled Every Breath. Oh, right there. And look at the way it's designed. Like, it looks like letters and probably sent to a lover. Like, that's the vibe it was giving me. And I knew for a cozy, comfort type of read, this fell into it, you know? Let's just see what it's about. Every breath. Hope Anderson is at a crossroads. At 36, she's been dating her boyfriend, an orthopedic surgeon, for 6 years, with no wedding plans in sight. She decides to visit her family's cottage in Beach, North Carolina, to think about her future. So I changed the settings simply because my phone got hot and it stopped recording. So here we are, back in the shade. Yay! As I was reading, True Walls is summoned to Sunset Beach by a letter from a man claiming to be his father, a safari guide born and raised in Zimbabwe. Ah, that's exactly why I picked this book, Zimbabwe. True hopes to unravel some of the mysteries surrounding his mother's early life and recapture memories lost with her death. When the two strangers cross paths, their connection is as electric as it is unfathomable. But in the immersive days that follow, their feelings for each other will give way to choices that pit family duty against personal happiness. Yeah, that sounds like a plot that I'm into. Illuminating life's heartbreaking regrets and enduring hope, every breath explores the many facets of love that lay claim to our deepest loyalties, all while asking how long can a dream survive. Oh, I am ready. I'm so ready for this. I want to read this right away already. Probably gonna be, I don't know. We'll see. Next on my list, it is a book I had seen Lex read, talk about it. It's Three Mothers: How the Mothers of Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and James Baldwin Shaped a Nation. It's really important to have the perspective of these people, you know, these heroes that have shaped our views of the world, that were heroes in front of our eyes, you know. And I want to hear what the mothers have to say, how hard or challenging it is to be a mother of someone like Martin Luther King during a time where, you know, black people were not accepted. And I don't know, it's like being Mary, the mother of Jesus. You know that your son will have to die to save the world. Like, whew. But it says this is the story of three women who raised three icons: Alberta King, Louise Little, and Bernice Baldwin, the mothers of Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and James Baldwin. Following their turbulent lives during which they defied deadly racial prejudice in very different ways, this book represents a piece of untold history, a celebration of Black motherhood, and a testament to activism and strength. I am here for it. Then, this book. I think this is the one where I see it being a fall type of book. And it says, simply because it says, Autumn and Finn used to be inseparable, but then something changed, or they changed. Now they do their best to ignore each other. Autumn has her boyfriend, Jamie, and her close knit group of friends. Finn has become that boy at school, the one everyone wants to be around. That still doesn't stop the way Autumn feels every time she and Finn crosses paths, and the growing, nagging thought that maybe things could have been different, maybe they should be together. And as time passes, Autumn realizes she might not get another chance to make things right before it's too late. Now, this book I saw, I believe, Shanasi, I'll put her name here. She did talk about this book and I think recommended it for the fall for some, you know, romance, cozy type of books. This was part of her list. I also saw a couple of booktubers talk about this book and TikTok book talkers talk about this. So it sounded interesting. So we'll see. Next, I mean, the leaves give me that fall vibe again, and it's Take My Hand. I think I've seen Comfy Cozy Up. She spoke about this book in other booktubers. It says here at the back, here's the blurb. Montgomery, Alabama, 1973. Fresh out of nursing school, Sybil Townsend intends to make a difference, especially in her African American community. At the Montgomery Family Planning Clinic, she hopes to help women shape their destinies, to make their own choices for their lives and bodies. Yes. But when her first week on the job takes her along a dusty country road to a worn down one room cabin, Sybil is shocked to learn that her new patients, Erica and India, were children, just 11 and 13 years old. Neither of the Williams sisters have even kissed a boy, but they are poor and black. And for those handling the family's welfare benefits, that's reason enough to have the girls on birth control. Okay. As Sybil grapples with her role, she takes India, Erica, and their family into her heart until one day she arrives at their door to learn the unthinkable has happened and nothing will ever be the same. Oh my gosh. Now I remember. It's one of those emotional books, right? One of those things that were done to black people clinically and were not supposed to be done. Decades later, with her daughter grown and a long career in her wake, Dr. Sybil Townsend is ready to retire, to find her peace, and to leave the past behind. But there are people and stories that refuse to be forgotten, that must not be forgotten, because history repeats what we don't remember. Inspired by true events and brimming with hope, Take My Hand is a stirring expression of accountability and redemption. Sign me up for all of this. I'm already like, my heart is already feeling heavy, and I don't even know what the content of this book is. Then we have this thick ass book, and I believe this is a fantasy book, if I'm not mistaken. It's Beasts of Prey. Beasts of Prey. Check the cover, y'all. Yes, we're here for you. We're here for this. It's by Ayana Gray. So, Lucosa was once a city of magic and splendor, but now magic is no more than a myth. Until one night when Kofi, an indentured beastkeeper at the infamous Night Zoo, unexpectedly unleashes a dangerous and tamed power that has been secretly brewing within her for years. She sets into motion a chilling sequence of events that not only upends her whole world, but also links her to a complicated stranger with secrets of his own. As a warrior in training for the elite sons of the Six, Ikon's task is to stop Kofi in her attempt to flee the Night Zoo. Instead, she saves him from the Shetani. Shetani in Swahili means Satan, le diable. Oh, see, I knew that's why I picked it up. Yeah, there's always one reason or a whole reason. There's always something that gets me to pick up these books. Whenever I recognize some African thing in it, I'm like, yep, grabbing that. The monster that has plagued Lucosa for nearly a century and stalks Akon's nightmares. Each with their own hidden agenda, the two strike a tentative bargain and team up to capture the Shetani as a hoped-for solution to their dire circumstances. But to do so, they must enter the greater jungle, a world steeped in wild, frightening magic and untold danger. And once the hunt begins, it quickly becomes unclear whether they're the hunters or the hunted. Yes, yes. Is this a YA book? It does look like YA. They're really young. They're definitely not my age. Yeah, it does look like it's probably fantasy, sci-fi kind of book. So we'll see. Then I do believe this is an autobio. Let's see. So it's called Josephine Baker's Last Dance by Sherry Jones. Discover the fascinating and singular life story of Josephine Baker, actress, singer, dancer, civil rights activist, member of the French Resistance during World War II. Oh, wow. And a woman dedicated to erasing prejudice and creating a more equitable world in Josephine Baker's Last Dance. Yes, I'm ready for these kind of stories. In this illuminating biographical novel, yes, it is a bio, Sherry Jones brings to life Josephine's early years in servitude and poverty in America, her rise to fame as a showgirl in her famous banana skirt, her activism against discrimination, and her many loves and losses. Ooh. From 1920s Paris to 1960s Washington to her final triumphant performance, one of the most extraordinary lives of the 20th century comes to stunning life on stage. With intimate prose and comprehensive research, Sherry Jones brings this remarkable and compelling public figure, a powerful woman who continues to inspire today, into focus for the first time in joyous celebration of a life lived in Technicolor. And she's white. How do we feel about that? We shall find out. You know what this reminds me of? Like Yellowface. You know when we were discussing, if you didn't follow my review of Yellowface, please do so. But in that, I discussed with my lady friend from my book club the stories that can be told and who can tell the stories, right? So, anyways, it just reminds me of that. So, we'll see. So, the next in the list of books that I want to read is The Choice by Gillian McAllister. Now, let's read it so you will know why I picked it up. It's the end of a night out and Joanna is walking home. Then she hears the sound every woman dreads. Oh. Footsteps behind her, getting faster. She's sure it's him. The men from the bar wouldn't leave her alone. So Joanna makes a snap decision. She turns, she pushes. Her pursuer tumbles down the steps and lies motionless, face down on the ground. Now what? Addictive and compelling, The Choice follows the two paths Joanna's future might take, depending on what decision she makes next. Okay, that's what captivated me. Okay, I see. If she calls the police, she can save the man's life. Yet doing so puts her own innocence at risk, as she must wait for judgment on the charge of assault and can only hope that her husband will stand by her. But if she runs and goes home as if nothing has happened, no one will ever know. No one saw her do it, and it's up to only Joanna to keep quiet forever. Yo, this book is already playing with my conscience. Okay, what choice am I gonna do? Okay, so based on this, just this blurb, I will choose. Don't judge me. I will keep quiet. Hey, I have a family to take care of. Yo, plus that person shouldn't have been. They should have screamed and be like, "Hey, hey, hey, it's me. Don't freak out." But you're like running towards me, so obviously I'm a freak out, and yeah, I can't be responsible. Can't be late. I can't be responsible for what happened. Nope. But I'm excited to dive in that and see what Joanna will choose. Then there's this book that I am interested in reading by Olivia Blake, Alone with You in the Ether. I saw another booktuber, she's upcoming too. I saw her talk about this book. I will link her name here somewhere. And based on her review of it, I said I will pick it up. Let's see what the blurb is about. Chicago sometime. Two people meet in the Art Institute by chance. Prior to their encounter, he is a doctoral student who manages his destructive thoughts with compulsive calculations about time travel. She is a bipolar counterfeit artist undergoing court-ordered psychotherapy. By the end of the story, these things will still be true, but this is not a story about endings. For Reagan, people are predictable and tedious, including and perhaps especially herself. She copes with the dreariness of existence by living impulsively, imagining a new alternate timeline being created in the wake of every rash decision. To Aldo, the world feels disturbingly chaotic. He gets through his days by erecting a wall of routine, a black bead of rules and formulas that keep him going. Without them, the entire framework of his existence would collapse. For Reagan and Aldo, life has been a matter of resigning themselves to the blueprint of inevitability until the two meet. Could 6 conversations with a stranger be the variable that shakes up the entire stimulation? Okay. We'll see. I mean, I'm not really getting I'm excited to read it, but we'll find out. Then 2 more books. Oh man, I'm thinking some of these books are short, so it will go by faster. Hence, where my courage comes from by putting all these books in my TBR. Stay with me. So next we have Jasmine Guillory. I believe this will be my first book. I have heard of her a lot. By the book, it's a romance book. So let's see what this is about. Sometimes to truly know a person, you have to read between the lines. Okay? Isabel is completely lost. When she first began her career in publishing after college, she did not expect to be 25, still living at home, and one of the few black employees at her publishing house. Overworked and underpaid, constantly torn between speaking up or stifling herself, Izzy thinks there must be more to this publishing life. So when she overhears her boss complaining about a beastly high-profile author who has failed to deliver his long-awaited manuscript, Isabel sees an opportunity to finally get the promotion she deserves. All she has to do is go to the author's Santa Barbara mansion and give him a pep talk or three. How hard could it be? Izzy quickly finds out she is in over her head. Bo Towers is not some celebrity lightweight writing a tell-all memoir. He is jaded and withdrawn, and it turns out just as lost as Izzy. But despite his standoffishness, Izzy needs Bo to deliver and with her encouragement. By the way, Bo in French means beautiful or handsome. The story begins to spill onto the page. They soon discover they have more in common than either of them expected, and as their deadline nears, Izzy and Bo begin to realize there may be something there that wasn't there before. Okay, there you have it. There you go. That's why I picked it up. This book is heavy. I don't know, it's thin, but it's hefty. Finally, last, which again gave me the autumn fall vibe, is this book here. It is What's Left of Me Is Yours. Just that title had me already, like, I was already intrigued. So let's read the blurb. A gripping debut set in modern day Tokyo and inspired by true crime, What's Left of Me Is Yours follows a young woman's search for the truth about her mother's life and her murder. Oh, let's see. In Japan, a covert industry has grown up around the wakarisaseya, literally breaker-upper, a person hired by one spouse to seduce the other in order to gain the advantage in divorce proceedings. When Sato hires Kitaro, a wakarisaseya agent, to have an affair with his wife, Rina, he assumes it will be an easy case. But Sato has never truly understood Rina or her desires, and Kitaro's job is to do exactly that, until he does it too well. While Rina remains ignorant of the circumstances that brought them together, she and Kitaro fall into a desperate, singular love, setting in motion a series of violent acts that will forever haunt her daughter's life. Okay, see? The plot thickens. That's what I'm talking about. Told from alternating points of view and across the breathtaking landscapes of Japan, Stephanie Scott's novel exquisitely renders the affair and its intricate repercussions as Rina's daughter, Sumiko, fills in the gaps of her mother's story and her own memory. Scott probes the thorny psychological and moral grounds of the actions we take in the name of love, asking where we draw the line between passion and possession. Yeah. Stephanie Scott. She's her. Interesting. She's not Japanese. Or is she Japanese? No, she ain't Japanese. That concludes my list of books that I want to read for the month of September. I look forward, literally forward, to reviewing these books and telling you my thoughts on all of these books. So stay tuned for them, and I hope that I will see you in my next video. Stay blessed. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.